Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Inside Movies Galore. I'm your host for this evening, and this is a late night broadcast where here in the room I have Jesus. Jesus,
Yes, sir.
how are you tonight?
Fantastic. I actually watched some pretty good movies and looking up to this.
Really? Well, I understand that you watched Happy Death Day, from 2017, and I have to say that I've seen it too. So, I was done within the last year or so. So, why don't you tell me a little bit about the film, and then I'll say some pointers here too.
All right, yeah. Family Video had a sale, some movies for $5. So I went ahead and I said, I heard a couple of people like this movie. Some didn't. Some thought it was pretty cool. But there was a majority of the people that I looked at online. They said that was a pretty good movie. So I said, okay, it's $5. I went ahead and picked up the Blu-ray there.
Okay.
I picked it up. I didn't read the background because I'm one of the guys that don't really like to read about the movies. If I hear it's good, sometimes if it sounds like it's good, then I don't end up liking it. So I usually blind buy a lot of things.
Okay.
And this one, I was pretty happy with it.
Okay. So I'm gonna go into a little bit of detail about this film. So apparently we have this young girl who wakes up. She's evidently in a guy's room. As she hurries to whatever class that she's going to, and she's like one of these popular girls, and she ultimately ends up getting killed. But there is a twist in the story. So why don't you, Jesus, tell me what what is that twist? What is that that goes on in this film?
We could go back to a more well-known movie called Groundhog Day, where every day repeats itself. So she wakes up. She wakes up the first time because she was out on basically a drunken hiatus.
And
Wakes
she's
up.
the Punxsutawney chipmunk, right?
Chipmunks. It's making my balls tickle, man.
I had to put that in there.
Yeah, so she wakes up and she meets some guy, right? And then she goes through the day and everything's looking familiar to her. So she had relived that day. But when she woke up to a nightmare. And a lot of people have nightmares, but her nightmare was she got killed. And it happened to be her birthday, and the phone call from her dad woke her up. And she went on about her day, and she started reliving, and then she knew everything ahead of time because she had already lived the day before.
Okay. And one thing that I'd like to say about this director is that he actually was the script writer for this film. He was also the script writer for Paranormal Activities 2, 3, 4, and he was also the scriptwriter behind Blood and Chocolate. He was not the director behind Blood and Chocolate, but it was definitely interesting learning that he was behind some of these films. And I believe he was also the writer behind Disturbia as well. So.
Now the Paranormal Activities, the first one was cool, but I kind of lost interest. You know what I mean? It wasn't one of those films that I was like, okay, we got to see this again. The first time you could kind of believe it, but when you're having Paranormal Activity, which is the name of the film, and you're having like outside sources come in and move chairs, slam beds, I lose interest. The first one is cool, but after that, that's not my style. Now this film here, I was surprised. I didn't look into the background and see what any of these people have done before. I thought this one was really done pretty well.
And he also did the movie Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, which was a couple of years back. So that was the last movie that he had technically directed.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
That one was actually really funny.
Okay.
If you wanted to, you could definitely check it out for yourself and find it. It's actually uh, it's a group of kids end up being like in a zombie apocalypse, and so on and so forth, and it's just kind of goofy, you know.
No,
But
to me, it's some of the zombie movies, like there's been so many of them. I'm not a big fan of that genre, the zombie stuff. But now, anytime you have clowns in something, I don't know what it is, but something about clowns, I just like it. You know,
well,
I have to give a movie a plus if they've got clowns in it. I don't care if there's zombie clowns in it. I'm more into it than just regular zombies.
Well, I'm not trying to give too much of info on Scout's Guide versus to the zombie apocalypse, but there is this one part where this one guy tries to jump out the window and he breaks his penis.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You must have had a hell of a heart on.
uh, yeah, but yeah, it's definitely got some kind of humor like that. That's why I would definitely check it out if if you could. But
Now this movie had some pretty cool humor because as the chick went on, and each day, now the killer in this film also was wearing a mask, and it happened to be a mask of the college that she was attending at the time.
uh,
And when you're watching the film, each day she dies and she wakes up, and every morning she wakes up, it's different to her. But as the comedy stuff goes, like one day when she's walking through the courtyard, or some people would call it the walk of shame after you've just had sex with the guy the night before. You're
mhm.
walking through that courtyard and everybody's like staring at you, cutting their eyes at you. Well, one day she decided to have fun with it, and she just decided to walk out there with no clothes on and walk through the courtyard naked. So she's really giving people something to look at, right?
That was funny. I remember that. That was let's not give a shit kind of day.
Yeah, because she already knows the outcome of the day, right? She's going to go ahead and get
Diet.
killed. I was like, can't you just take that mask off to see who your killer is? But,
Mhm.
then there's a little twist at the end of the film there. You find out it's actually not a masked killer. You know what I mean? It's her roommate
Yeah.
trying to kill her with a cupcake because it's her birthday.
Yeah, and that's kind of a twist. So
Yeah, I mean, I really thought the movie was done well. I don't want to give too much more away of it. I gave a few spots away. Other than the guy that she thought she banged that night, she actually didn't, and she's ended up having feelings for the guy, and she seen he was a pretty decent guy, although he wasn't the best looking guy. And she kind of fell for him.
mhm,
That's what happens when you get to relive the same day over. You get to feel people out and see how they really are,
mhm,
instead of just giving them the once over and you're done with it.
mhm. Well, I would have to say the same thing when I saw it. I mean, yeah, it kind of reminded me of Groundhog Day, but you know what? It was done really, really well. I mean, the killer that was supposed to kill her in the end had like this baby face, and
Yeah, creepy fucker, man. It was just funny, right? You slow down and look at that. Because it wasn't a horrifying mask. It's like a funny
well,
mask,
well,
but
no,
you just get the blank stare at you because
kind of
that mask doesn't change.
it kind of reminded me of the mask that was in Valentine a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah,
But I don't know if you remember that movie, but
yeah,
that one had like a kind of a baby face looking mask or whatnot, but it kind of was similar to that mask per se. Uh,
yeah. I'm a mask guy, and I really like those. It's kind of subtle, right? But it's kind of like maybe your mind plays tricks with you when you see a mask like that, and that's the killer wearing that mask.
mhm.
Even Brooke Shields did one when she was a young gal, about 8 or 9 years old, right? And they had that mask in it. I think it was called Alice, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Oh, Alice Scream Alice, maybe something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and they had that little boyish type mask in
Hmm.
that film. So those type of films I like because they have a little bit of that creepiness feel to them. And those are the films I personally enjoy.
Well, you might be cool to know that there is actually going to be a second film, a sequel to this in 2019. So there's definitely something to look forward to, or to see what they do in the second one. If it's gonna repeat, the same bang feel that this one had, because you got to piece everything all together when you're doing this kind of a film. It's kind of a puzzle because every day, if you're living the same day over and over, it can't always be the same,
Yeah,
Even
because every subtle change makes a difference.
exactly, and just like in Back to the Future, if you go to the past and you interact with anyone, they're gonna remember you, and things are gonna happen a hell of a lot more differently, a different timeline. So, but I relatively enjoyed this film as well. I mean, it was executed professionally. There were some decent moments, and for the young girl being relatively young, and the young kid being relatively ugly.
Is it a family member of yours or?
Oh yeah, I'm related to the Hendersons. Uh, uh, in any case, but
Now, do you do ratings on your show? Since I haven't been on here before, do you do like out of 5 or out of 10 or anything like that?
well, I try not to because I really think that doing a rating on a film is actually degrading on a film because you
Okay.
really want the viewer to figure it out for themselves.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure how you did that, so I was just curious.
Nope, we just give our opinions and what we thought of the film. We just describe it to a point. If there was anything that we noticed, then we go about and like say something on it without giving too much into the film. And it was a really good, a decent film. I've heard nothing but good things about it. So it's. Yeah, you again with films, you either love them or hate them.
Yeah, this one was good. I know sometimes on your show you've got some that are like real stinkers. You know what I mean? But this one here is pretty good. I
I
remember that room one you guys did.
oh yeah, that one was kind of a.
That was a turd ball.
Well, it seems like there are a lot of people who actually love that film, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, they're probably high as fuck or something.
Hey, one guy said that he did a drinking game every time the dude like said something. So it.
Well, that's probably cool for this episode, though.
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah.
but in any case, well, thank you for coming on, and thank you for telling me your thoughts and what you thought of the film. I know it's really cool to get you on when you've seen it so recently. So, and I know it came out like maybe almost a year ago now. But,
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that old. Like I said, I seen it was on sale and I grabbed it. So it was a good buy for me, I think.
and I think when I go and pick it up, because I haven't had the chance to pick it up myself, I've been more concerned with picking up independent films, probably more crappy. But um, I I mean, I love picking things up myself, and I would have picked it up if it were that price too. So,
Yeah.
but in any case, thank you for coming on, and we definitely have some more planned for the audience here tonight. I know we're doing this rather late, but you know what? Fuck it. Fuck them. So,
Yeah, you're the wolf man. Let's hear you howl, buddy.
ha ha ha. Oh! Anyways, um, so my name is David Strege, and I run this podcast. We do interviews from time to time. So next coming up, we're going to be doing some TV films. So definitely check those out when you get a chance. And um, Jesus, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself if you wanted to?
I'm kind of shy. I'm a little new to this. I'm not I don't have a crowd or anything. Maybe I won't have stage fright in the future. I just appreciate you giving me the chance here tonight.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, thank you for coming on, Jesus, and I will look forward to another conversation with you in the future if you'd like to come back on.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, good night for now. Stay tuned for another a review coming up of 7 short films in very shortly. Thank you for listening.